In the first video, we understood what are import and export transactions. Now, as these basics are clear, the next important step is setting up your accounting system correctly. Because even a small gap can create confusion later, especially in GST, foreign currencies, and reporting. Many businesses start recording import and export transactions immediately. But if the setup is incomplete, the problems appear later in GST reports, custom duty accounting, customer and vendor balances, foreign currency adjustments. So this video focuses on proper setup of Zoho Books. Today, we will set up four important areas in Zoho Books. First, organization and GST settings. Second, chart of accounts for import and export. Third, tax and GST structure for imports. And fourth, vendors and customers. Organization and GST settings. So first, let us go to settings. Under settings, we have organization. In that, we will go to profile. When we go in profile, we have to make sure that our organization location here is India. The base currency is INR and we have to select our appropriate fiscal year. Once this is done, we can save this. Once this is saved, we'll go back to settings. So once that details are saved, now let us go back to settings. Now under settings, we have taxes and compliance. Under this, we go in taxes. Here we have our GST number. So when we open the GST number or while you are enabling the GST, you can enter. You have to make sure that in import and export, this checkbox is clicked. My business is involved in SEZ or overseas trading. You have to select the appropriate custom duty tracking account, whichever chart of account you have created. You have to select that here. If you are providing digital services to overseas customer who are individuals, B2C customers, you can you have to click to this checkbox. Once you are done with this, you can save this. So once this is saved, we'll go back to settings and we'll see currency settings. So here we go back to settings. Under setup and configuration, we have currencies option. So under currencies, by default there are few currencies available. If other than this we have any customer or vendor outside India, then we can select that currency. We can add new currency from here. You can select the country code. Say we have Afghan, then you can select that decimal places you can select and you can save this. So that this currency is added to your account. So this way we can do the setup settings for import and export. So we saw three settings. Under organization profile, we saw that country has to be India, your base currency should be INR and you have to select the appropriate financial year. Next we went to settings, taxes and compliance. Under taxes we did GST settings where we click the checkbox SEZ overseas trading. We selected the appropriate custom duty tracking account, and if you are providing digital services to B2C customers, individual customers outside India, you can click on that checkbox. Then we came back to settings, setup and configuration in currencies. We saw that there are few currencies by default which are available. If you need any additional one, you can set that up. Now let us move to chart of accounts for import and export. Zoho Books already creates many standard accounts by default. However, depending upon your business, you may add new additional ledgers for import-export transactions. It is recommended to have these accounts clearly defined, like custom duty, IGST on import, clearing and forwarding charges, freight and insurance, exchange gain or loss. So, I'll quickly show you how you can create this chart of account. So, on the home screen, on left side, we have accountant module. Under this, we create chart of accounts. So, by default, there are many chart of accounts already available. So, if you need as per your business, you can create additional chart of accounts as well. Here you go to add new account. You can select the account type. Say we want to create under expense. So, we select expense. Now, you can write your whatever account name you want to give to your chart of account. So say we are creating it for freight and insurance. If you want to make this as a sub account, you can link this to a parent account and you can give the account code. So I'll give expense 0010. You can write description, and if you want this to watch on your dashboard, you can enable this as well and you can save this. So in a similar way, you can create all other chart of accounts. These accounts helps in proper cost tracking, accurate GST reporting, clear profitability analysis. So create only what is required based on your business model. Now let us see GST structure for imports. There is no separate GST setup required as such for IGST on imports. However, what has to be ensured is GST is enabled correctly. Import transactions are not treated like local purchase. IGST on import is recorded based on the bill of entry. This will ensure that you take correct ITC and the GST reporting is correctly done. And the last, we see vendors and customers. So on the left side panel, we go to sales. Under customers, we can create a new customer from here. We can select the details as regular we select, and what two things, important things we have to take care of is GST treatment. For an export customer, GST treatment we have to select overseas. Here we select overseas, and currencies. We have to select the right currency. Say it is my Australian customer, so I have to select here Australian dollar. So two important things we have to take care is GST treatment and currencies. Okay, in a similar way, let us go to purchase. We go to here vendors. When we create a new vendor, again in the same way we have to select the appropriate GST treatment. Say we select here overseas, and we have to select here correct currency. So this is how you can set up the customer and vendors for import and export. For overseas supplier, mark as overseas vendor, so proper GST treatment is given, and select the appropriate currency. In a similar way, for export customers, proper foreign currency is to be selected and overseas customer has to be selected. Correct master setup avoids repetitive correction later. Think of the setup as a foundation. When foundation is correct, accountings become simple, reportings become reliable, and GST compliance becomes easier. Zoho Books support import and export accounting very well when the setup is done correctly and aligned with actual transaction flow. Now that the setup is ready, we are prepared to record actual transaction. In the next part, we will record a complete import purchase including custom duty, expense and IGST. That's where everything comes together. Thank you and see you in part 3. To stay tuned, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update.